Man is back.
Oh, okay, boys. Oh my gosh, the ring got messed up. This is a 5 out of freaking 5.
It is beat making time.
Next week is E3 week. My album comes out next week.
I have the leopard. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But oh, look at that, my God.
This is your boy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube citizens, y'all know who this is. This is your boy Dash, the True Inferno. Back at it with another Pokemon Unite commentary video gameplay for you guys here on YouTube. And I know I've been away for a while. I'll be honest, I needed to take a break. There was other stuff I needed to catch up on. And I know a lot of stories broke over the past few weeks. And I've been meaning to talk about them. And there's a lot. A lot has happened. So over the next few weeks, I'm going to obviously try my hardest to catch up with these stories and things of that nature. But this one, I got to talk about it. I got to talk about it. Y'all know what it is because really, I've been covering this for years. For a very, very, very long time. And it's the end. It is officially the end. E3 is officially dead. And I saw the writings on the wall 7 years ago. I'm not joking. I'm dead serious. I came out with an Overwatch video 7 years ago. To be more specific, it was June 24th, 2016. And it's called Overwatch Commentary is E3 Dying with a question mark at the end. So I saw the writings on the wall many years ago. And I basically blamed it on these reasons. So one of the reasons was companies and developers were putting out from showing up at E3, which was true and continue to be true ever since then. Now, what I failed to mention in that video at all was the fact that they were doing their own shows online, most likely for free, which was a big component to why these shows were putting out. And then another reason why I said was because E3 isn't pretty much the only gaming show. You got the Tokyo Game Show, you got GameCon, and there's others out there. And I was under the impression that more was going to be created in the future. I'm not sure how legit that part is, but there's other game shows out there that's, you know, doing their thing. And E3 wasn't really necessary. Another reason that I gave was that companies were doing their own thing. It was kind of like tying in with number 5. I guess I repeated that again to a certain degree. But when it comes to number 5, I think in this case, I was talking about how you got EA. They did EA Play, which was an in-person event that took place in the same city as E3. Like the day before E3 officially started, but EA Play was for free for the general public. And remember, 7 years ago when I did this video, E3 was not free, It was not available to the general public. You had to be a part of the media, and you know that's the only way you could get in. You either have to be a part of the media or you have to be a YouTuber that was invited there, which I'll touch more about later on in that video. Another reason was because speaking of the media, it was too expensive, so you had to be a part of the media. And then the media had to pay $800 to $2,000 based on what I heard back then just to get in and do their thing. So there was that. Number 2, another reason was that the trailers released early and the surprise factor was in there. Now, I kind of half-ass explained this one or elaborate on this one more. When I talked about this in that video, I was under the impression that these companies just released it early. It never occurred to me that they could have been leaked. You know, and I'm like, okay, yeah, so that's kind of not accurate because they could have been leaked early. So that's another thing that needed to be factored in. And I didn't do that. So that was a mistake on my part. But nevertheless, yeah, that was a thing. And that was, you know, the fact that it took away the surprise factor. And then another reason was that E3 was restricted to the media / so that the YouTubers only. Now, that's how I felt at the time, but as years went on, and I saw how the Gaming Illuminati was dealing with the general public, once it was open to the general public, and Gaming Illuminati got in as media, it was a hassle for the media. It was a hassle for the media. They did not do that right. So, and that was the moment where I lost my interest of going to E3. I always wanted to go because it was like, yo, not everybody can go to this. So it would be cool if I somehow was able to get into E3. But once they released it to the general public and I saw how it played out through the Game Illuminati videos, I was like, yeah, that desire to go to E3, it's not there anymore. It's done so. There you go with that. And then, of course, I talked about how, you know, E3 was pretty much dead at this point because a lot of companies were pulling out, and then COVID happened, and then Geoff Keighley pulled out, and he did the game show, the game show, whatever, the video game show actually, and I knew it right there. I'm like, yo, E3's dead, like, and I knew it was going to die, but COVID made it happen rather sooner than later, and I said that in a Call of Duty video. I did 2 Call of Duty videos within a span of 2 weeks, basically talking about, or really a span of 1 week, talking about how E3 is dead, like, because more and more companies were pulling out. And then Nintendo saw the writing on the wall. They were like one of the first ones who stopped doing their thing at E3. And I will admit, I was one of the people going, what the heck are y'all doing? Like, y'all messed it up, Nintendo. But then in actuality, no, they wasn't. No, they wasn't. Because little did I knew at the time, these companies, Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, Square Enix, Capcom, Bethesda, all these companies, they have to pay money to show up and do their thing at E3. They have to pay money. I didn't know that. So now, and then now Nintendo was doing their own thing about E3 time. So now I'm like, yo, that makes more sense. They showing their stuff online. They don't have to pay anybody to do that. And they still getting the views and the media attention. You can't hate on them for that. And other companies starting to do that. And it's like, yeah, that makes sense. Why pay E3 this crap ton of money for something that you can do online and for free? Granted, people won't be playing your games in person, but when you have lines that are going from the windows to the walls, whatever the case may be, which brings me to another reason why I don't like the fact that it was open to the general public. Because like you as a general public, we only have enough time to play like 2 games for the entire day. Because the lines were apparently that long. No joking. I'm dead serious. So it's like, there's no point. So I saw the writing on the wall 7 years ago, and I basically confirmed that it was dead going into 2020. Like, I knew right then and there it was basically dead. Now, let me give you guys the official word or an article from The Verge real quick. So check this out real quick. E3 is dead for good. While the video game industry had already largely given up on E3, once the largest video game trade show in the industry and the biggest video game showcase event of the year, there were always the chance it will return after multiple years of cancellations. Now, I knew that was not happening. Moving on. However, in a statement to the Washington Post today, so this was done yesterday, December the 12th, by the way, E3's organizer confirmed that the show is permanently canceled. And here's the quote. We know it's difficult to say goodbye to such a beloved event, but it's the right thing to do given the new opportunities our industry has to reach fans and partners. Stanley Pierre-Louis, the CEO of the Entertainment Software Association, the nonprofit trade organization that ran E3, told the Washington Post. He also alluded to the biggest reason for E3's collapse and ultimate demise. Game developers and publishers had increasingly moved away from the event in order to put on their own less costly showcases targeted directly to fans rather than the industry insiders and journalists that E3 typically caters to. This is something that I said. I said that. Why go there, pay a bunch of money to put on a show where you can do it online, you can do it for free, and all that jazz. So that's right. That's really, really right. Even before COVID in 2020 put a halt to the large in-person gatherings, publishers have begun marketing directly to consumers via live stream shows like Nintendo Direct, Sony's State of Play, and the Xbox Games Showcase. Again, like I called it. Then in 2020, after the pandemic shuttered E3 and other game industry events like GDC, I don't know what that is, and Gamescom, Geoff Keighley announced his own show, Summer Game Fest, an online event wherein publishers and developers could show off their games over a handful of months rather than the concentrated week of keynotes typically to an E3 event. Over time, dozens of other online events began cropping up, allowing developers, AAAs, and indie games alike, or indie publishers alike rather, to market their games to a wide audience while avoiding the cost and stress of E3. Like I said, there hasn't been an in-person E3 event since 2019. The pandemic made E3 2020 an impossibility. But in 2021, the event returned as a digital showcase. The following year, and before I move over to the article, I just want to talk about that part, the digital showcase, which was dumb. The reason why it was dumb, because it's like when you register to try and watch it, like, they was like, yo, Are you like a regular general viewer? Are you part of the media? Are you a developer? And then like it was like they were trying to put some restrictions in terms of who can watch it from their website or whatever. And it was so stupid because it didn't matter who you are. They're gonna watch it. They're gonna watch it. They're gonna find somebody to watch it. So it's like it makes no sense to try to put restrictions on something like that. It made no sense. But moving on. The following year, E3 was canceled outright with promises that the event will return in 2023 as a hybrid online and in-person event. Then that was canceled, along with the news that if E3 were to return at all, it wouldn't be until 2024. Now, before I end that article, I want to turn my attention to, or turn your attention rather, to another article that was put up by IGN, where in like, I think they had a long article over here, but in this one paragraph, they said after E3 2023 was canceled, reports emerged that E3 2024 and 2025 had also been canceled, though the ESA claimed that no final decision had been made yet. See, I wasn't even aware of that. That was news to me. I had no idea that that was a thing. So that was interesting. Now, moving on to The Verge, and the last thing they said is now is never coming back, in part because there's so many institutions that have already replaced it, which is, I saw this coming years ago. Now, I'm not saying that people disagree with me like they did with that Google Stadia crap, which I saw that was dead on arrival as well. I called that correctly. That was dead on arrival. There were some people who disagreed with me. Where they at now? Where they at now? But again, nobody, like I said, disagree with me or anything like that. But it was like the writing was on the wall when you see people or these companies and publishers and developers doing their own thing for free. Like, you know, why go to E3 and pay that much money? So E3, I knew was gonna die, but the pandemic, COVID-19, kind of escalated its demise quicker than even I predicted. So now here's the thing. How do I feel about E3 died? Like, okay, I will admit, one of the hypest moments when it comes to me in video games was when they announced Kingdom Hearts 3. I think it was the same year Michigan took on Louisville in the national championship game, college basketball. And it was a Monday night, and wrestling was on. So I was watching three things at once. And of course, Michigan kind of got blown out, which annoyed me. But they announced Kingdom Hearts 3. I lost my mind. I was going ballistic. I was going crazy when Kingdom Hearts 3 was announced. And it's moments like that, I will admit. It's moments like that that E3 could bring that I would miss. And it was dope. It was really, really dope. And again, that was during the time where it was not open to the general public. You had to be part of the media to get in and all that stuff. So I miss moments like that. But when you're constantly leaking these trailers out a week or two in advance, and all these companies are pulling out to do their own thing, there's no need for E3. There's no need for E3. And then you saw how they tried to do the general public. They try to bring in as much people as they can, and it's crowded as heck. There's longer lines to play the games, to the point where one person can only play like 2 games per day. And I bet you those tickets cost a lot of money, because E3 apparently charge a lot of money for everybody. Media folks, company present the games. So you know the ticket price for the general public was high as well. So it's like, there's no point. There's no point for E3 to exist. Does it suck? Yeah, it kind of sucks. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. There's no point for E3 to exist. So that's my thoughts on it. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. And I'm going to call it a wrap. So with all that said, y'all know what this is. This is brand new Jay Gatsby, a.k.a. New Stephen A. Smith, saying peace out, y'all. And I'll see y'all next time. Yeah.